Welcome to another episode of Me and ADHD. Joining me today to talk about post-ADHD support is my special guest, Alex. So good day to you, Alex. How are you?
Okay.
Now that you're here.
Now that I'm here.
Hey, it's all good. It is all good.
It's all good. It's all good.
So you are in the same group as me, late diagnosed ADHD. Is that correct?
That is correct. Yes.
Excellent. And how old were you? When you got diagnosed?
I was 40.
Cool. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, you're
Nearly
youngster then,
41.
aren't you? So,
Yeah.
mere youngster.
Mere youngster. I am. Yes. Spring chicken.
I got diagnosed when I was 51.
Really?
But it's not a competition. So I know it's really weird speaking to people who've been sort of late diagnosed, considered to be late diagnosed in their 20s. I'm like, why wasn't I diagnosed in my 20s?
I know.
Such. Then again, over in the UK, it wasn't technically acknowledged as an adult. Adults can get it as well until 2008. So, I couldn't be diagnosed then. So there you go.
I think
life is life.
It's very much like a child scene diagnosis, isn't it?
Yes. Young boys.
Young boys. Yes. Yeah, that's it. I don't remember anybody having ADHD when I was younger.
No, but I guess it's like, anything else up until sort of recent years that is never talked about.
No.
But then again, it's probably never diagnosed either. It was the naughty child.
Yes. Yeah.
So,
I am that naughty child.
Are you?
I am.
Okay. See, now I'm from what I've been reading so far anyway, I'm the typical female ADHDer. So I'm not the naughty child. Masked very well, just highly inattentive. Couldn't pay attention. Even though I was looking at the teachers in class, really trying, my head was going all over the place.
Yeah.
So nothing was ever picked up apart from I'm, stupid, could do better, tried harder, all that kind of malarkey.
Yeah.
So very much never got into trouble. I wasn't, hyperactive in that sense. Just my brain is hyperactive.
Yeah.
So
So
you're the token male and I'm token female then.
Yeah.
Excellent.
I suppose
it's a
huge.
Yeah. Oh yeah, it's a huge thing, and it's something. It's not until I saw your live stream that I thought about it a bit more. I thought, why haven't I done a podcast on this? Because it's something that is to do the whole assessment takes a long time, but it's still something that people just like dismiss, whatever. And I don't understand it. I mean, for you, how long did it take you from beginning to end? Okay, from you starting filling out the forms or doing a pre-assessment or whatever you did at the very beginning, getting diagnosed. How long was that?
Well, I went to the GP and asked them to refer me because both of my children are diagnosed ADHD. 2 of them are.
Okay.
One's undiagnosed. So I kind of related to them. And that's where I thought maybe I was as well. And the GP told me it was a 7-year waiting list. So I'm very patient. That wasn't good enough. So I actually went through the right to choose through the GP.
Okay.
So I went to Psychiatry UK. And it was only about 6 months. So I feel lucky because I didn't have to wait that long. But it was about 6 months. Yeah.
Okay. And then when you got did you do the questionnaires and everything?
My husband did. Because I don't know about you, but I don't like forms. They give me major anxiety, and you're giving somebody who thinks they have ADHD a questionnaire that's like 7 or 8 pages long. So I didn't personally fill it in. I was sat next to him, if that helps. But he had his forms. So there was questions for me, and then
Yeah,
there was questions for somebody that knows me well. So like a family member or a friend. So he
yeah,
had his own set of questions. So bless him, he was sat there for quite a few hours, um, filling in these forms
yeah,
and these questions because I just couldn't I couldn't cope with them. It was too much.
yeah.
Yeah.
It's strange how the setup to get diagnosed is really not ADHD friendly.
No, 100% not. It's a
It's-
neurotypical person that's created that questionnaire for sure.
yeah, yeah. My wife helped me quite a bit.
Did she?
Um, Quite a bit. Yeah, I did. I Forms don't scare me as such, but I generally don't like doing it because of the inattentiveness.
Hmm.
I don't read them very well,
Yeah.
so my answers not might not be actually correct because I've either read it wrong or read the wrong question and answer the. I'm just not paying attention as I'm looking. It's just
Yeah. Yeah.
so.
That makes sense. That
Yeah,
makes sense.
but yeah, it takes hours to
It
do.
does. It does. And with
Yeah,
me, it was like the anxiety of um, answering the question wrong, which is really stupid because it was asking me questions about myself. But I think from being
yeah,
undiagnosed and having those beliefs about myself, um, that I really struggle with answering questions because I think I'm going to give the wrong answer or nobody's going to understand what I'm talking about and I'm not going to make sense. And
Oh,
my mind just goes into overdrive. So yeah, it's
okay. Right from the get go, it's like I'm talking to myself at the
oh
moment.
really?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. It is. It's strange. Yeah, because some of the questions I over analyze every single
Yeah,
question.
yeah,
Well, if they mean it like this, well, I can do this. Well, if they mean it like that, I could do, put this down
yeah,
instead. And it's, what do you think that they mean? So that's where my wife comes in as well. It's just
yeah.
like,
And there's so many
so
different answers that it could be, and then
yeah,
I don't know. I find ADHD quite contradicting. So I don't know. It's quite
yeah,
hard to give the right answer.
it is because I felt like I didn't want to sort of, yeah, put the wrong answer and, as playing it safe and then, yeah, allow them to come to the wrong conclusion. But I
Hmm.
didn't want to kind of overdo it either.
Yeah,
So it's trying to get that, oh, it needs to be correct. It
yeah,
needs to be correct. And I
yeah.
don't know what correct is.
No, don't know what
Help me,
correct is.
wife.
Oh, absolutely. I'm the same with like assignments. I'm studying at the moment. And if I write an assignment and I look back over it, I rewrite it and then I'll rewrite it and I'll rewrite it and I'll rewrite it. And yeah, because I just don't think it's ever right.
It's hard doing it. It's hard. It's so you did all the forms. Well,
Yes.
you sat there while your husband did all the forms.
Yes.
You owe him so much.
I do. I do. He's so good.
So, and then it got all sent off. And then did you have like an online or was it in person
It was online,
consultation?
so it was just
Yeah.
a video call like this with a
Yeah.
psychologist. It was about an hour, so the
Oh, okay.
forms had to be in about a week or so before the actual appointment. So obviously they weren't done
Yeah.
until the night before, and
Yeah.
then we sat and chatted for an hour, and it was the same questions really as what was on
Yeah.
the form, but just a bit more in depth. Yeah. Um, and
Okay.
then I got the diagnosis straight away.
Okay.
Yeah,
That's great.
combined
So
ADHD.
basically, combined. Okay.
Combined, yeah, yeah,
So
yeah.
you, you are the troublemaker.
I
All
am
right.
the troublemaker. I am the rebel. I don't follow rules. I don't like authority. That's me.
This is it. And it's all your fault,
It is all my
obviously.
fault.
Yes. Or your parents' fault, or it's like oh dear, I love the stereotypes.
Yeah,
Okay, so that's a long time.
yeah.
All right. So an hour consultation. plus the hours doing the forms to get all the
Hmm.
information in as well.
Hmm.
Um, that is a long time. So it went into a lot of in depth with the questions about your
It did.
childhood
Yeah.
and how you feel and all the rest.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Lots of
Okay.
questions about childhood, how I was in school, what my learning was like, what I was like with friends, what I was like with family. Like it was really, really in depth, um, which it did make me quite anxious. It wasn't an easy process to go through.
Yeah. No. Yeah. No. You're right. It's not. It's not. So the thing that struck me when you said about um, getting the diagnosis and then see you later, it is very true. So you've got an hour the hour consultation,
Hmm.
all those forms, hours, filling
Hmm.
from different people, all about your background,
Hmm.
everything in a lot of depth. Got your diagnosis, and then has everyone after that gone, "Oh yeah, ADHD, we understand, we're great, yeah," or has it been a lot of negative feedback and wishy washy, whatever? Is
Yeah.
And I find that frustrating because you go to a doctor, and this is what hit it for me. You go to a doctor and you spend 5 minutes with a doctor, and you get diagnosed with whatever, okay, um, and then that is taken as rule. That is it. That is your diagnosis after like 5-10 minutes. Now, don't get me wrong, doctors are very good. They're highly qualified. However, I find it really disconcerting, I guess, that so many people dismiss the depth that the psychologist, the psychiatrist, the team who do all the diagnosis and all the analysis of all the information, how much they go into it and how long it takes to get to that conclusion, because it can't be done in 5 or 10 minutes.
Mm.
It's impossible. But it's still not taken seriously enough by anyone.
No.
And I find that really frustrating by education, by employees, by friends, family. It's not taken serious. It's like, what else? What else do you need to do
Yeah.
to prove that something's going on?
Yeah. I think the only people that take it seriously are other neurodivergent people.
Yeah,
We're the only ones that get each other and understand the struggle that we go through every day. And I think when you try and explain it to somebody, like the anxiety or not wanting to get off the sofa or, things like that, it it comes across as, oh, you're just lazy or you just need to get up and do it. And, like I get that. Yeah, it's quite difficult. I don't think it's understood as much as what it should be at this stage in this century.
yeah,
Like, there's enough people, and it's still quite a tough process. And I don't think GPs understand it as much as what a psychologist understands it either.
I don't think a GP really understands it at all. I mean,
Mm,
to me, if you're not qualified to assess and diagnose, you need to not have an opinion on it. You know, your GP is not going to argue with the outcome of your, I don't know, your brain scan with a
yeah,
neurosurgeon.
yeah,
You know, because
yeah,
they don't know that area, so
yeah,
they don't go there, and
yeah.
they shouldn't go there with this either. Um, but there's a lot of time, a lot of information given, and it's a big life changing diagnosis.
Yeah, yeah,
Okay, are the best or worst depending on who you are really. So obviously, after the diagnosis, you were booked in for sort of, I guess, the consultations, follow up consultations, giving you lots of information and structure on what you can and can't do, um, and what's the best way to manage the symptoms and the signs and all that. Yeah.
still waiting. Still
Yeah.
waiting.
Yeah.
So I was offered medication,
Yep.
or therapy, um, but I couldn't get therapy through Psychiatry UK. It would get referred back to the GP. There's nothing there for the GP to offer me, or it's like referrals and year-long waiting lists. And so I went down the medication route, and I'm still waiting for that appointment to be.
Oh, good God. Really?
Yes, yes.
How long has that been?
So 2 years.
I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Okay.
So
Right. So
I'm
so
still
you're
like,
waiting for titration
yeah,
to start.
yeah.
It's been 2.
I'm still waiting for that to start. So I thought, oh, it'll be dead quick because the first appointment was really quick within 6 months. So I should have some
Yeah.
meds in another 6 months. No, I'm still waiting for that. And I keep going back on, and I'm still there. I'm still on the list, but so now I've kind of
Wow.
found ways to manage myself, you know,
Did did they tell you why you have to wait for so long?
because I just think it's just another long waiting list, isn't it? And there's so many people getting diagnosed. It's like, so yeah, they're just, and I think they've actually closed their doors at the moment for right to choose, because
It's too many.
there's
Too
too
many
many.
people.
Yeah, yeah, there's too many. So that, yeah, it's kind of like when your children get diagnosed, there's no support after that either. It's just
No.
medication, and this is how we're going to help you manage your symptoms.
That's crazy. I mean, I've on Facebook, I've been a member of a few sort of support groups,
Hmm.
ADHD support groups, and
Hmm.
everything. And a lot of people were talking about the right to choose, and I didn't know anything about it when I
Hmm.
got diagnosed. Um, and yeah, there's only a few, I guess, assessment centres that have signed up for it. So there's
Yeah.
not many that do it,
No.
and a lot of them went through where you said Psychiatry UK,
Hmm.
and a lot of them were saying about the long wait
Hmm.
for the titration to start.
Yeah.
I mean, that's like, this is what you've got. Yep, we found it out. Yep, but we can't medicate you. It's going to be about 2 years.
Yeah.
Can you imagine
Yeah.
having that conversation with any other,
Yeah.
be it a heart problem or cancer
I was
or
just
whatever it
about to
is?
say, could you imagine telling a diabetic person that they're going to have to wait 2 years to start?
Yeah, that's absolutely crazy.
It's just not
Absolutely crazy.
taken serious enough. It just isn't. It just baffles me. It really does. If there's not going to be medication, then there should be some sort of therapy offered while you're waiting, so we know how to handle the symptoms, the anxiety,
Yeah.
and everything that goes along with it. I mean, I suffer with panic attacks as a symptom, and there's no help, there's no support there
Mm,
for that. I was given other medication by the doctor, but that doesn't help the ADHD symptoms, if that makes sense, because it's not the
yeah.
right
Yeah.
medication. So
Yeah.
it's
It's
difficult, isn't
sort of,
it?
yeah. It's like treating a symptom, but not treating the actual problem itself.
Yeah.
So, okay, yeah, I've just come off antidepressants.
I saw. Well
Um,
done.
oh,
That's
well happy because I
amazing.
said to the GP, please can I start to because I know you can't just stop. I said,
Yeah.
please can you start weaning me off this
Yeah.
because since I've started my ADHD meds, I'm not depressed. I know I'm not depressed.
Yeah.
I'm feeling so much better,
Yeah.
so I don't need these. So I've stopped. Brilliant, happy days. But I know speaking to a lot of people that I've been really lucky with, I guess, what's gone on and most of it in my life and the support and everything. We were we were lucky because we did go private. My son's still on a waiting list, but we got him done privately anyway. Um, and they do. I think the waiting list was actually about 6 7 weeks, something like that.
Oh, right. Okay.
And then 2 weeks later, was it 2 weeks? Yeah, about 2 or 3 weeks later maximum. I had my appointment for titration and job done. And I find it really weird that so many people are having issues.
Mhm.
I mean, the where I went to, amazing place. Really happy with everything that went on because I was really nervous because I saw the panorama um, program
Yeah,
beforehand. I said, "Look, guys, I am really nervous about doing this. I need it to be done. I want it to be done, but this is my concern."
yeah.
And they were great. I went in person. I think I spent about 2.5 hours with them. Obviously, did the forms and all that as well. And they were really nice. Explained everything to me in regards to the diagnosis and the reasons why. Um, and I did a what was it test? It was Q. Is it a QB test?
Yeah.
Yeah. Did you do that?
No.
No. It's horrible. It's absolutely horrible.
Is that the one where you've gotta sit on the chair
Yeah,
and
you got to sit.
watch something?
Yeah, and you
Yeah,
look at the screen, and there's shapes come up, and you've got to press. Oh, horrible! 20
yeah,
minutes. It felt like 20 hours
yeah,
to try and focus so much.
yeah, yeah.
It was no, yeah. I hate. I told him I don't want to do that again. Don't tell me your computer's crashed because I'm not doing that again. That was that was absolute a mind's.
Yeah,
No, I'm not going to say it. Yes,
I get
hated it,
it.
but yeah. So there's a lot of time and effort goes into it,
Yeah,
and they gave it the report afterwards, and it gave some suggested websites and links to go and to view. But yeah, that was kind of it. They're very good with the titration.
yeah,
I can still email them now and let them know, oh, this is happening, whatever like that, and they'll answer me. And they're really good in
that's
that
good.
respect. But yeah, but with the rest of the information that comes across and what you can do and how much you can manage it, there is no source. There's no
Yeah,
therapy put into it,
yeah,
and it's a real shame
yeah,
because a lot of people, even the diagnosis, are struggling
yeah,
big time.
yeah,
I mean, medication is great. Medication has been brilliant for me.
that's good.
It really has, and I know it's not good for a lot of people,
Mhm,
and some people can't take it, and the side effects can be
mhm.
pretty bad. Um, they don't last long generally, a couple of weeks, I was told. But I'm really lucky. And for
Yeah,
what I wanted it to do, what I wanted to get out of it, it has done.
yeah, yeah,
So because my son, he's no diverse, he's ADHD and autistic and
right.
the PDA profile, um, and it was
Yeah,
really hard, sort of trying to get to grips and how life is.
yeah,
Um, and that's why when I got went through the diagnosis thing, because I was struggling and nothing made sense and why I was feeling this way. Everything was triggering me.
yeah,
My, I'm like, oh yeah, okay. These things run true with me as well. That it is with the son, and I'm like, okay, get tested. And I'm on the medication. Life is good.
that's
You
amazing.
know, I can listen. My head is slower, not slow, not slow.
Slower.
It's yeah, but it's just slower. It's not a Lamborghini anymore. It's more of a you know more of a BMW M3. So it's yeah. Medication is great, but it's not a cure, so to speak. Things are still going to be there,
Yeah,
you know.
it's just a way of
However,
managing it, isn't it? And, you
yeah,
know
it's whatever you struggle with. Like you said, everyone's a bit different.
Mhm,
Okay, so if you struggle with inattentive a lot,
mhm.
that really works for me. So inattentiveness, my the focus on something, the being out of my working memory.
Right, yeah,
Okay, all those things, brilliant.
yeah,
Okay, absolutely brilliant. And that's what I needed because I needed to be able to focus and listen because my brain is always screaming out for quiet,
Mhm.
screaming out for quiet. Too much talking to me. If I have to
Yeah.
concentrate too hard for
Yeah.
too long, it's painful.
Yeah. Yeah.
But I can do that a lot longer now. You know,
Yeah.
I've read my first book. I'm on my second book now.
That's amazing.
It's that's another thing I wanted to do. I wanted to be able to read a book,
Yeah.
and I didn't know if that would happen, but I did it, and it's like, yeah,
Yeah.
I've read a book. I remember it. I didn't have to keep on going every
Yeah.
line or every paragraph, and it was just wonderful,
I'd love to be able
and it
to read
wasn't
a book.
hard to do. It is amazing,
Yeah.
absolutely amazing. I did when I was doing some research for my son because we were just before his diagnosis, we were kind of like looking at how we can help in
Mhm.
some way, and I did an online course because that was stupid on so the introduction to mental health,
Right, okay.
and I started to, I haven't studied anything. I mean, when I did study, the last, like, my career has always been in fitness and leisure. So that was fine. That stayed in my head all the time. I could, no problem at all with anatomy and physiology. Great. However, no anatomy and physiology in this course.
Mhm.
You should have, I think they said, you should have done an hour of reading every night and a little test at the end kind of thing. It wasn't a big
Y
course by any stretch of the imagination. I was reading all day to get through it because it was reading a line, reading the other line, oh God, going back to the
Going
other
back.
line, and just it took me like 2 hours to get through a page because I've read the page altogether like
Yeah.
8 or 9 times, and it was just so hard.
Yeah.
And again, something I didn't want to do, but I had to do it because it's to help our son.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's not something I didn't have the choice to give up.
Yeah.
You know, I had to do it. And it was one of the worst experiences of my life. It was so painful to do.
Yeah.
Um, but with medication for me, brilliant. Happy days.
Yeah. That's so good. That's so good.
Yeah. So, but 2 years.
I know. I'm
I
thinking
don't.
I'm sat here going, "I'm gonna get on the phone after this interview."
Well, in fairness, with because as I went private, it wasn't. Um, what do you call it? This is one of my issues. I forget words,
Uh-huh.
which it hasn't helped with. um, the right to choose thing.
Yeah.
Yes, it wasn't for them, and they don't do that. But it's it still doesn't give you lots of information to take away
Yeah.
to then be comfortable, and there's no follow up assessments or
Mhm.
follow up conversations or anything like that. It is kind of see you later. Apart from the titration,
Yeah. Yeah.
part, it's see you later.
Yeah.
And they do have their own on-site pharmacy. So that kind of like helped when we are a bit short with the
Yeah.
meds because there's a bit of a shortage. And the local one, it didn't have any, so I had to go to Milton Keynes,
Oh
which
god.
is like an hour away.
Okay.
So to get them, they had them, which was great. So,
Yeah. Yeah.
but it is it is shocking that there's a lack of help afterwards.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know,
Whichever stage
especially
you're at, children or adults,
yeah,
there isn't enough information or support or it's just kind of figuring it out as you go along, really.
yeah, and it's so where you at the moment, you're waiting for the titration.
Mhm.
You're not on the meds, but you're being diagnosed. Okay, so any issues that you have, any problems, any time you feel that you're going into, I don't know, burnout
Mhm.
or anything, okay, who do you talk to? Who can you
Um,
go and see?
well, my doctor's quite good. I'm quite lucky to have quite a supportive doctor. She's been our family doctor for about 7 years. So she understands, my mind, I suppose, but she never refers to anything as an ADHD symptom. It's just who I am. Does that make sense?
Yeah,
But I suppose, my husband is probably my go-to. because he lives as a neurotypical in a neurodiverse house.
Yeah.
Um, so it's probably more of a struggle for him than what it is for us sometimes. Um, but if he sees when I struggle and I don't see that I'm struggling, so he sees the overwhelming anxiety and all the voices in my head, um, and he is very supportive when I go into a burnout and I just stay on the sofa. Um, After I got diagnosed, I went into a burnout for about 12 months. Um, Very, very like low. I don't want to say depression because I don't know if it was depression or if it was just um, like processing that
Yeah.
I have ADHD and this is why my life has been the way that it is type thing. But when I was going through that, there was no support. And it would have been really helpful if there was somebody that I could talk to that could say to me, okay, you're going through this stage and this is why this is happening and your mind's doing this. And it wasn't, it was just, here's the sertraline. You need antidepressants. This is what's going to make you right. And it didn't
Yeah.
because it's not what I needed. So I kind of had to figure it
Yeah.
out for myself. Did that make sense?
And again, yeah, no, yeah,
Yeah.
again,
Okay.
that's being left to it.
Yeah.
You know, it's it's until I found myself and a family in this sort of situation, it never even crossed my mind about this side of life.
Hmm.
Now it just really frustrates me how you can have a bad knee, and everyone you speak to about your bad knee is qualified in knees, in anatomy physiology and how to help you with the knee. You go see a GP, they've done their anatomy and physiology, they know about knees and doing certain tests. Then they'll send you off to do a physio. Then you get scanned, and then you go to a knee specialist or orthopedic surgeon. Everyone knows what they're doing regarding your knee.
Yeah. Yeah.
But this, after your diagnosis, everyone you speak to is not qualified
No.
to help you at all in any shape or form, be it in your own life, be it in the educational aspect.
Yeah.
Um, there's just no one.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm sure there are, but the fact that we have to do the research
Hmm.
to find people,
Hmm.
and it's not, you have a bad tummy, whatever, you're going to go to your GP.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Um, but with this, it's like, who do I go
Who
to?
do you go to?
Who?
Yeah.
This is it.
Yeah. Who do you go
And
to?
that's and then where are they? Who do you look for? What person is qualified to help you?
Yeah.
We don't know.
Yeah. It's so
So
hard.
what do you?
It's such a. I feel like it's such a lonely world being a
Yeah.
neurodivergent. Um, unless you're surrounded, like in my house when the kids are home, it's not so lonely. But when you go outside into the big wide world, it can be quite lonely and having people not understand you because it's not spoken about and it's got that stigma of, oh, you're just lazy or you're just naughty, you're not parenting the right way. um,
Mm,
there's not a great deal of understanding, is there?
yeah. There's there's not.
There's not. No, sorry, I don't
I
even know if
just
that was in relation to your question.
no. There are so many times in our the
Oh,
40 minutes we've been talking that my mind's gone, and I've had to get it back to what were we talking about. But as I said before, it is what it is. This is how we work.
it
This is how
is.
it goes.
There was another point,
So
and I've forgotten what it was. It's gone. I'm sure it'll come back.
what? Who knows? Who knows? Anyway, let me press record. Um, yeah, for me, acceptance is key. Knowledge is
Yeah.
good. I've said this plenty of times beforehand. It'd be nice if people do educate themselves and
Hmm.
everything, but
Hmm.
knowledge doesn't give acceptance.
No.
Acceptance is key. Even if they don't know what you're going through, they can't understand, obviously, because they're not going through it. But if they accept that if you are struggling, that makes a massive difference.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, you're struggling. I accept it. How can I help you? You know,
That's it.
world of
Yeah, yeah.
difference.
It's just that little, how can I help? Yeah, that's it. And
Yeah, it's all
yeah,
you need
sorry.
sometimes, really. No, no, no. It's that's all you need sometimes. I'm just thinking about how I go about things and what's happened to me. And again, I say I have been very, very lucky compared to most people I think I've talked to. Pretty sure after speaking to my mum, she's ADHD.
Hmm.
Um, and after she's been listening to my podcast when I was talked about certain aspects, about the RSD and
Yeah,
everything like
yeah.
that, and she's like, "Yeah, yeah, yeah." It's
Yeah.
like, yeah, that's me. I'm like, okay, all right. So I know where I got it from then. It's all your fault, mum. So, but she was understanding it in that respect. And my wife is brilliant.
Yeah,
And very much like your husband,
yeah,
if I'm having a bad time, she'll be like, "What can I do?"
yeah.
Most of the time, she knows what to do, and she knows my head craves sort of quietness, peace. So
Mhm.
it could be just being up here. She'll entertain the little one downstairs, so I can have 10, 15 minutes just lying on the bed, clearing my head.
Yes.
Um, I do photography. I go out. I do wildlife and black and white animal portrait
Oh,
photography.
wow.
And she'll go, look, just this weekend, just go to a zoo, stay over somewhere, you know, and just get away. And I'm like, yeah, that's all I need. You know
That's
what I mean?
amazing. Yeah, yeah.
I haven't told her stuff like that. It's not me sort of educating her. She's just done it because that's who she is. And I wish more people had that in their lives,
Mhm.
because without that support, even with the diagnosis, even with the medication, if you haven't got some sort of
Yeah,
support, on a regular basis, it's a massive
yeah,
struggle.
yeah. No, that's it. It's 100% it, and I think that's why so many people now are online, um, and finding
Yeah.
their people. Um,
Yeah.
I've in the last month, I have found so many amazing people online that just get it and understand it, and I can just jump on and go, "I am not okay today," and they're like, "Okay, we got you." And sometimes you need that, don't you? You know?
Yeah. That is good. It's changed my life regarding how I communicate,
Yeah.
because I don't communicate well with people, um, because of I struggle to get the words,
Hmm.
and you'll see when I start to struggle, because when my now my speech will slow down, it would be more broken, and my eyes will go off. It's not because I'm thinking about something else. I'm trying to think of that word
But
that
I
I
get
need to.
that.
Yeah. So and that's why I struggle with talking to people most of
Hmm.
the time. So I am confident, 100% confident, it's my medication that's allowing me to do the podcast, because before the medication, there's no way I'm speaking to strangers,
Hmm.
online, and no, it wouldn't happen. I really didn't do that in person, let alone online.
Hmm.
Um, so it can be really, 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 really hard. And now I've forgotten where I was going with it. So I don't know. Who are you again? Oh God. So
Oh, brilliant.
I don't know if I asked a question or you asked a question. I've got to be honest
I
with you.
don't think either of us asked a question.
It's just,
We
so,
were just
so,
chatting.
so this is where I know I need my medication is running out, because I take quick release, so it only lasts around 2-3 hours,
Right, okay.
and I take it as like 8:30, 8:30 in the morning, then sort of 12 o'clock, and it's like coming up to 12 now,
It's
and I
my
and
fault.
it starts. It is your
It
fault,
is my fault. I
and
came on late. I had issues. I'm sorry.
how dare you keep me away from medication?
Sorry.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. I don't even know. Have we started the podcast?
I
I don't
bloody
know.
hope so. Get me back.
Yeah, have I asked? Let me have a look. Have I asked any questions? I don't know.
You
Anyway.
have.
So,
Oh, brilliant.
but
We were
no,
talking about
it's
support. And people
support, yeah.
understanding us. Yeah, yeah, that's what we were talking
Yeah, I
about.
mean, the community is it's like,
Mhm.
we all know in pretty much all I don't know, pretty much everything apart from this, um, never go to Doctor Google,
Oh, yeah,
right?
100%. I
Because,
still do, but I
you
shouldn't.
you've got a bleeding nose, so obviously you go to Google, you're
Yeah,
gonna die.
yeah,
Um, so but this Doctor Google is the only place to go. We have
that's
to
it,
go online to get the support. We
that's
have
it.
to go online to get this. I knew nothing. You know the ADHD iceberg?
Yes, and
Yeah,
everything's underneath.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah, yeah,
I knew nothing about underneath.
yeah,
Nothing.
yeah.
So it's only through going onto Google, going on to then YouTube and all that, and listening to other people going, "Oh, is that? Oh,
Mhm.
oh my God, I do that," and that's
Yeah,
how I feel. Um,
and it
and
makes you feel
so
less
much of it.
alone,
Yes,
because
absolutely.
people get it, you know? It's like you spoke about RSD before. It's like, well, it has that name because somebody went through it already. It's just
Yeah.
reminding ourselves, isn't it? And we wouldn't have to go through Dr. Google if we got the right support in the first place.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. And it's a shame it's not there,
Hmm.
and it's a shame it's not made more official. I mean, it's there, but you don't. It's a shame that we have to go to YouTube and
Hmm.
Instagram and TikTok and all that to get that
Yeah, yeah,
information.
yeah, yeah.
Um, there are websites. You got ADHD UK and things
Hmm.
like that, and that's all great. But you really want to chat. You really want to find out about yourself and where you fit in to this
Absolutely.
new, you know,
Yeah,
yes, neighborhood of
yeah,
neurodivergence
yeah.
and I understand it's all different as well.
Yeah, and going on the websites is all great, but then it's reading, and I'll get through the first paragraph, and I'll go, "I can't. This is like a full page that I've got to scroll through, and I can't do that."
Yeah, yeah. My
It's
wife knows that
over.
everything I get, um, sort of post wise, well, before the medication, but through the post or emails, anything like that, I give to my wife to
Yeah,
read and
yeah,
go through because I'm not. And if I do read it, I'm going to forget it, and then I'm going to forget to let her know about it. And so I just like, just yeah, you read it.
yeah,
You tell me
yeah.
about it.
No, absolutely, yeah. I
So it's
understand that.
fun and games, fun and games.
Yeah, yeah.
But I don't know. I think there's so much more that could be done. Really, really do. And I think there's so much more that could be done straight away, which isn't
Mhm.
done.
Yeah.
There's a lot of stuff that's going to take a long time to put in place. But I just think for people who are struggling, especially for the people who are, I guess, hyperactive and struggle with the impulsivity,
Mhm,
and the ones that are getting into trouble,
mhm.
I think, in a sense, all the people who are going into burnout and going to dark thoughts, that those are the people who need help right now, and they should be given help right now.
100%. 100%.
Um, because it's a shame that the people who are struggling with like impulsivity and things like that because of the ADHD and they can't get their meds or they're waiting for the titration and the GP can't just give you meds.
No.
It has to be a specialized person to be able to do that. And then they end up going to prison and stuff like that. And then it's like they should have been helped, and
Yeah,
because they weren't helped and they should have been helped, now they're still being penalized for it.
yeah, yeah,
You know, and the dark thoughts and all that. Just if they had someone to talk to who knew what they were going through, or they were given the medication that they wanted and that they needed, there would be more people who are still here.
yeah,
Let's just say,
yeah,
um, and those things could be done straight away. I'm certain of it.
yeah,
You know,
yeah,
there's other things that take a long time to put in place, but I don't know. People are being missed. And although everyone says they're being missed and need support, even the government says they're being missed and need support, but at the same time, the government and the powers that be are still holding people responsible for the things they cannot control because they're not getting the help that they
yeah,
actually need.
yeah.
And I really find that hard to swallow. It's a
Mhm.
hard pill for me to swallow. Um, kind of going through that kind of like situation at the moment, but I won't go into my son's side. He'll tell his own story when he's older,
Yeah,
I'm sure. But you can't keep on telling people it's their fault
yeah,
when we know it's not their fault.
yeah,
You know,
yeah. I
I,
I get that. I get that. I understand that, and it's difficult, and it should be coming. The support and help should be coming from the government. And I don't know if you saw a couple of weeks ago the whole thing that was aired online. I won't go into it too
yeah,
much, but it made parents feel like we're not doing the best for our children and we're not giving them the best support. And then we got a lot of hate um, because our children have needs, and this shouldn't be the world that we're living in anymore. We shouldn't get stigma. And this is why a lot of people don't speak out, and why a lot of people struggle being undiagnosed or diagnosed and not getting the support that they need, because we get such a bad rep with ADHD and there's no understanding there.
yeah.
Um, so it's something that um, I can't find the words. I'm sorry. I wish that I could just jump out and help people and just straighten the government out and go, this needs to be done and this needs to be done. Um, it just feels like a constant fight. I don't get why neurodivergent people have to fight so much and neurotypical people don't. I'm probably
Yeah.
going onto a rant now that I probably don't
No, no,
need
no.
to
This is
go
this
on.
is like I said. We will go off in different tangents, and
I'm trying to pull it back, pull it back. Because, like, with the schools, because I went through 40 years of not very good mental health because I was undiagnosed and the symptoms were missed. And now I think the government are in a place where they should be putting those into schools. Does that make sense? So children aren't
yes,
getting undiagnosed, they're not getting missed, they're not being seen as naughty, they're not getting expelled, that they're getting the support and the help they should need. We shouldn't have to fight for them to get support. we
yeah,
It should just be diverse in schools. You're either neurotypical or you're neurodivergent. That's great. We're going to help you both the same. Neurodivergent children shouldn't have to fight to get support or to get funding, or do you know what I mean? A school
yeah. No,
teacher
absolutely.
should be trained, schools should be trained. That's it. Happy world.
Yeah,
It's that simple. Get it done.
yeah. It's there's
Sorry.
because there's a lot of things. There's a lot of things. I totally agree with you. There's a lot of things that can be done straight away. And when it comes to school, have you read the Department of Education's Send Code of Conduct?
Not fully.
Well,
Read.
part of what I've been trying to go through and talk about and with certain people.
Yeah.
Um, but there's things in there. It looks really good. It looks. I won't
Oh,
say
on
foolproof,
paper,
but it
amazing.
looks. Yeah, it is okay. But it seems that no one underneath the people who have written that and put that
Mhm.
together go by it. So when it says, and I quote, a student cannot be excluded or cannot be, can't be excluded, but can't be what's the word? What's the word? Discriminated.
Yes, that's it. Yeah.
Okay, because of an incident that has come out from their disability,
Mhm.
that's born from their disability. So
Yeah.
they can't get excluded. Laws passed 2018, I think it was, that they cannot be excluded because of their disability, something coming out of their disability.
Mhm.
Okay. But they still are.
Yeah.
And nothing's been done about it
No.
unless you fork out and go to a solicitor. They're still being done.
Yeah.
That's still being done left, right, and center. Although it's there in black and white,
Yeah.
and everyone's ignoring it.
Yeah.
So and that's where you get the parent blame, the student blame,
Yeah.
and it's just an awful thing to go through, and
Yeah.
an awful thing to. I mean, I know how I was treated when I was a child, and I
Hmm.
do not want my
No.
son going through that or any of that because it's just not nice.
No.
It shapes school shapes their life.
It does.
Education shapes their life
Yeah.
for better or for worse.
Yeah.
Let's make it better, please.
Yes.
Yeah,
Yeah.
good. Didn't work for me. So
No. No. And that's it, isn't it? I think it does. It shapes who they are as a person.
yeah,
It's their confidence. It's their beliefs in themselves. It's everything, isn't it?
yeah,
And
you
they're
know,
getting failed from the beginning.
and it also says parents know their children's best.
Yeah. But we're not
Parents
listened
know
to.
their children's best. No, we get
We
the
are not
blame.
listened to. Yes, we do.
Yeah.
We do. We get the fines. We won't go down that route. That's a whole other podcast.
That is a whole. Anyway, let's take it back to.
But it does kind of come in
Oh,
line with what we're talking about, because
yeah,
if teachers had the proper training, like teachers are brilliant, but some of them need that training with SEN children or looking for the symptoms and being able
yeah,
to put forward for that child to get the diagnosis. And that's still quite a struggle for a lot of parents. Like you said, parents know best. And I
yeah,
know a lot of parents that aren't being listened to with the diagnosis of their child. No one's supporting them. So
yeah,
I don't know what has to happen for you to get that diagnosis. It seems, I don't know. It's gone. I'm sorry. It's gone.
yeah. It's like I said right at the very beginning, right? So you got a child got ADHD. You know how the hours that went into the diagnosis and get all information,
Hmm.
and if they got they're autistic as well, the hours have gone to that.
Hmm.
It's all in black and white. It's all that all been seen by psychiatrists,
Hmm.
uh, psychologists,
Hmm.
whoever. All that information still not believed. Nope.
No.
Apparently, educators and other people, they know better than the
Hmm.
psychologists and psychiatrists and everything like that. Nope, nope, nope. It is, parents' fault or
Oh
child's
yeah,
fault.
yeah. Oh, it's the child's fault. Yeah, yeah,
So
yeah.
anyway, that's just got me thinking now. Getting me all riled up now.
I know. Sorry. I knew that I would do this. I knew as soon as I got onto the subject of children in schools, that would be it.
No, it is absolutely hard. It's just God, if neurotypical people can just have a day of being neurodivergent,
Oh my God.
you know,
Could you
just give it a go.
imagine? Wow.
I said to my wife, all right, I spent this is only recent, and I had this on the podcast as well, that for years and years and years, you look at your partner and you're like, sometimes you're like, well, what are you thinking about? And she's like, "Oh, nothing." And I've always thought, you got to be thinking of something.
There's
You've
got to be
got to be
something in there.
thinking, yeah, you think of something. What are you keeping from me? It's just,
Yeah.
and then like a few months ago, I actually found out that neurotypical people can think of nothing.
Yeah. There's just
I'm like,
nothing there.
what?
I'm like, not even a
How?
song.
It's yeah. How could you not think of even one thing?
Yeah.
Even one thing. How can
How
you?
does that happen?
But I guess it's. I mean, I can't even imagine it. I mean, I
No.
can imagine having a broken leg. I've never had a broken leg, but I can imagine how that could hurt and
Hmm.
whatever what it
Hmm.
looked like, and I can't imagine having nothing going on.
No.
I really want that to happen, but I just some say there's nothing going on anyway. But
The lights are on.
yeah. But I said to my wife, sometimes she'll, like guess a lot of people struggle to get to sleep at night because
Mhm.
their head's going. I'm like, "Mm, yeah, well, that's my head
Constant.
every single day. So imagine what it's like when I can't get to sleep because my head's won't shut off.
Yeah,
Imagine how bad it must be for me,
yeah.
you know. So it's crazy. I can't
I can't
understand
imagine
not
it.
thinking of
No,
anything.
no. But then my husband says that to
So,
me, like, "So you've always got something talking?" I'm like, "Yeah, yeah, yeah, all the time." There's and quite a few things as well.
yeah, yeah.
There's a few songs, there's a few questions, there's
It's-
conversations, there's argument, everything. Everything goes up there. Yeah,
yeah.
yeah, and
And then you get intrusive thoughts. Got to
oh,
get
intrusive
that right.
thoughts. Yeah, that's
Intrusive thoughts. It's like, where the hell does that come from?
yeah.
Why am I thinking that? That's not what I
That
think.
that's not
That's
normal.
not,
What's wrong with me?
yeah, that's not right. That's not the way I want things to happen. No. And it's like, why? Literally nothing in my life has made me think that or want to go down that line.
No, no.
No. So yeah, yeah,
I love the ADHD brain for how much it can do, but sometimes it is quite overwhelming,
yes.
and I just wish it would switch off.
Brilliant, Alex. Thank you so
Oh,
much.
thank you for having me. It's been great.
And for you guys, thank you for listening. Remember, be good, be kind, and you're most definitely not alone. Thank you.